So the CBC, which is Canada's national news service, has a really important article that they released on the issue of healthcare. If this doesn't radicalize you on this issue, nothing will. Look. Why desperate Americans are driving to Canada in caravans for insulin. Influx of Americans avoiding skyrocketing U.S. insulin prices raises concerns about Canadian supply. So you know how they, fearmonger in this country about the caravans coming through Mexico, the invaders coming through Mexico to this country, hordes of them. And what do? We fearmonger and we say, how dare you? Don't let them in here. They're bad people, yada, yada. You know the whole shtick. Well, what do you do when the roles are reversed and now it's a caravan of Americans looking for help in Canada? Do you have that same principled stance against caravans, hordes of invaders are coming? Or do you say, listen, man, they're doing what they got to do. They want to survive. They can't afford the insulin here. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? They got to go there. Now, why does that same logic not apply to the southern border? Listen, they're escaping drug war violence. It's either join a drug gang and die at 23 or come to the U.S. and try to create a better life. What are you going to do? What do you want them to do? Seriously, what else do they have? What do you want them to do? There's obviously a contradiction there, and people will say, it's fine, the Americans go to Canada, they need the drugs, what are they going to do? But fuck the people coming in here through the southern border, fuck them. Okay, so I digress from that. Let me show you a pic in this article. This is of Americans getting their insulin from Canada. Look. A vial of insulin in the U.S. is $300. You know what it is in Canada? $30. Just so you know, the idea of like, well, what do you mean? Again, naturalistic fallacy. Well, it's like this, so it has to make sense. No. We didn't just naturally get to this place. It was policy decisions that were made by people in power who are corrupt that have made it so Big Pharma can rob us dry. And that's what's happening. They're just robbing us. $300 for insulin, and people need this to save their lives. They give an example in the article of a kid who died because he was rationing his insulin because he couldn't afford it. 20-some-odd-year-old kid. Unbelievable. Now, you might be thinking, well, how the fuck does Canada have it at $30 and we have it at $300? How does that happen? Well, very simply, in Canada, they have the Patented Medicine Prices Review Board, which is a federal agency that establishes a maximum price that can be charged for the drugs. So you have this board that basically says, okay, you can charge up to this much and that's it. No more above that. What about what about the pharma companies? Will they make enough money? Yeah, they're going to be all right. They're going to be fine. The idea that like the government is this marauding band of pirates who are unreasonable and they're like, let's only charge them 3 cents and put the pharma companies out of business so we don't have these drugs in existence anymore. That doesn't happen. All the right-wing fear-mongering on this is nonsense. It makes sense that there's a government board that says, yeah, here's the max you could charge, that's it. $300 in the U.S. for life-saving medication, $30 in Canada. By the way, Canada's not even the best example of this. The UK, which is even more socialized, because in the UK they have a single-payer system that's tax money funding public institutions. So everything is public. And you know what it is there? It's anywhere from $10 to $20 when you get medicine, when you go to the pharmacy and get medicine. And literally doesn't matter how expensive it is. All you have to pay is $10 to $20. And it'll say on the bottle, funded by the UK taxpayers. So even if your medicine theoretically costs $20,000, you go there, they're like, okay, give me $20. Thank you. And then they give it to you on the label. It says paid for by the UK taxpayers. I love that. Why the fuck? Why not? Why would we not take... It's not like we don't have enough tax money. Of course we have enough tax money. We just choose to spend it on endless wars. We choose to spend it on fucking $4 billion a year as a subsidy to ExxonMobil. We choose to give the big banks a bailout and $80 billion a year in quantitative easing. We choose to do that. We don't have to do that. We choose to do that. Our corrupt politicians choose to do that. Why wouldn't I want to fucking create a program where our tax money pays for medicine for people? I told you guys before, I'd be fucking happy. I'd be ecstatic to pay my taxes If I knew my money was going towards healthcare for people, medicine for people, education for people, maybe universal daycare, universal paid vacation time, month paid off every year for everybody, I'd love that shit. Instead, I know my money's going to blow up poor innocent people overseas and going as a subsidy to some Wall Street fuckheads. So I hate it. So this is beyond fucked up. We know we can do it better. And now we have fucking, pharma refugees fleeing the U.S. to go to Canada because that's how bad our system has gotten. Now go ahead, Donald Trump. Brag a little bit more about how your economy is so awesome, you fucking idiot prick.